Hey everyone, my name is Eric Hopkins, aka JEL. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm joined tonight by Mr. and Mrs. Spooby, good friends Brandon and Miranda from the Dragon's Den podcast, as well as newcomer Ty, who is apparently reenacting as John Cena here because we can't see him. So, yeah, we thought we'd do a big WrestleMania 40 prediction show for you guys, breaking down every single match on each day for the WrestleMania card coming up on April 6th and 7th. So we'll check that out and let you guys let us know what you guys think of the matches as well. How about we start with match number one? This apparently Triple H earlier last couple of days or so come out and actually showed us the match cards for each day of WrestleMania, so we know exactly which day each match will be on now. So we'll start off with the first day, and that is, of course, on Saturday. We've got Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee versus Santos Escobar and Dirty Dominic Mysterio, kind of playing into the whole LWO versus Legado del Fantasma feud they've got going on SmackDown. I kind of am a little surprised that Dominic Mysterio got added to this match. It just kind of felt like Dominic Mysterio really didn't have a feud for WrestleMania, so they thought they would kind of throw him in here with his dad. So I guess it's kind of a natural fit. Anybody got some thoughts on this match in particular?
Well, I mean, he has been talking to Santos Escobar and the LWO, getting in tight with them. So it kind of makes sense that because I believe personally the Judgment Day is going to split. Like, that's going to happen. So Dom's going to end up sliding with LWO. You get Finn and McDonough, and then you got Rhea. She's got her own thing going, and then you got Priest because he still has that Money in the Bank cash in spot. So like, it makes sense for him to go team with Escobar in this regard. But I mean, nothing for the kid to do. Wrestle his dad at WrestleMania. Why not?
I want to say something about that real quick. How we've been talking about like real life outside of whatever sport they're doing. Mm-hmm. That's got to be some emotions there.
Yeah.
Wrestling your dad at WrestleMania.
Oh, yeah.
Twice, 2 years in a row. Yeah. Last year he wrestled his dad one-on-one and got his
got his butt whipped.
Yeah.
Literally.
Well, now you got some time under your belt and stuff, and I bet this will be a pretty good match.
Oh yeah, Dom's been doing good work.
I think it'll be a good match, but I also think, kind of along with Eric, like, this just seemed kind of random. They just put him in there. Mm-hmm. So I don't see Dom ever beating his dad outside of a one-on-one match.
Oh, no.
So I automatically, I know that Dom's going to lose this one. And so their feud will continue farther down the line.
I think this furthers their feud, but the bigger story will probably be Dragon Lee and Escobar. Which, regardless of anything, this is your opening match. A hell of a way to open.
Well, I don't know if this is the exact order, but this match will be on Saturday for sure. I'm just kind of going from least important to the most important as we go.
It's probably the opener, though.
It very well could be.
Either that or in the middle, but like either way, it'll be a fire match. Like, it'll be something either get the crowd pumped up and ready to go. I'm here for it.
Yeah,
I think this weekend's going to be a poor weekend for Judgment Day. I'm thinking they're going to fall for losing.
Yeah, because Monday night they were on top.
Yeah, they beat DIY and New Day in an 8-man tag
handily. So they're losing those titles.
Yeah. I can see that. That's usually the way it goes. If you win on Monday night or the go-home show, it doesn't usually bode well for you on the pay-per-view, but not always the case. But we'll talk about that as we go through some of these other matches too. But my prediction for this, I could maybe even see Dragon Lee, since it's his first big event, possibly getting the pinfall over Dom or something that could lead to Dom kind of wanting to just do something different. I'm not sure I believe that Judgment Day is going to completely split yet, but I can definitely see Dom leaving for sure. That's the way I'm kind of looking at it. But either way, should be a good opener, like you said. If that's what ends up being, all these guys are very capable. Could definitely be some high flying tactics here for sure. I don't know if they're ever going to continue the Rey Mysterio Dominic stuff, or if they're just going to this will be kind of a blow off to it as well, because we kind of thought it was done to begin with. But good spot here for all these guys. So hopefully it'll be a good match.
No, I think. I'm sorry. I'm just saying. I think when Ray's done, Dom will be the one. Dom will beat him.
Yeah, I think Ray should put his son over, and I'm sure Ray will.
I'm sure he would.
No doubt.
Do you think they'll have an I Quit match? That's how it ends.
No, I just think he'll wrestle him for his career.
I guess
in a sense,
I actually kind of thought they maybe could do a hair versus mask match.
Yeah.
Dom's letting that hair grow out pretty long right about now.
It's that Eddie Guerrero mullet.
Yeah, exactly. But then I thought to myself, well, you probably don't want Rey to beat Dominic again. So would you really have Rey Mysterio remove his mask
for his son? If his son were to take up the mantle, if Rey loses, Dom takes his mask, but then he wears his mask as tribute to his dad.
Well, not only that, when Dominic got involved with Santos Escobar, costing Rey Mysterio a match a couple weeks ago, Dominic came to the ring wearing a Rey Mysterio mask, and he looks like a spitting image of his father in his younger years. So that was interesting. So I don't know if again that'll play in anything. Yeah, but it very well could. Second match for Saturday is going to be Jade Cargill, Naomi, and Bianca Belair versus Damage Control, the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane, along with Dakota Kai.
Why do you say her name like that?
Oh, awesome.
I was gonna say
my bad. But Damage Control, how about that? Those three ladies there. So yeah, I mean, I think this is going to be a showcase for Jade Cargill, in my opinion.
Sure. It'll be good match though.
Exactly.
All 6 women are good, and like people, I feel like because she's been hurt and injured and out so much, you don't really get to see her that much. But Dakota Kai is fucking phenomenal in the ring. So I'm excited to see it. Like legit. That should be a good one, but I don't. It'll be a showcase for Jade, and she may win. She may end up pinning Dakota Kai if I was doing it. If I was, and my job was to, put this match together and put somebody over, Jade would definitely get the pin, but it'd be over Dakota because you're not going to pin either one of your champs.
Yeah, I can see that.
But I would love to see either Bianca or Naomi as a tag team, or Jade and Bianca as a tag team.
Yeah, and I think this very well could spin off into a women's tag team championship match between two of the three ladies on the opposite side, no doubt. Yeah, I just think with Jade Cargill, they kind of centered SmackDown last week a little bit around Jade Cargill signing the SmackDown contract, and of course then joining Naomi and Bianca, which I kind of thought maybe Bayley would come out and help the two at the end of the show, but because it kind of plays into the Damage Control storyline. But since Bayley's got the match with Io Sky, it actually made some sense to throw Jade Cargill in here, and I think it'll hide some of Jade Cargill's falls since she's still a little green. It's a good way to kind of get her in a match, but at the same time, you can kind of hide her just a little bit if things go a little awry. But I think they're very high on her.
I seen this video last night, and this isn't WWE related, but it's WCW related. It's when Ric Flair's son, what's his name? David. He was wrestling Dean Malenko. And as I'm watching this match, I'm thinking to myself, Dean is doing all the work. All of it.
Yeah.
And you can clearly see Dean doing all the work. And with Jade, sure, there's something she can't do, but there's something she can do. And what she can do, she's really good at doing it. So sure, having her in the ring with a bunch of girls she could toss around, you're just going to accent what she can do better.
Right.
And just don't, stay in your comfort zone. So it should be a good one.
Yeah. Did Ty Miranda have any thoughts on this one?
I think you guys summed it up pretty well. I think Damage Control loses, and I definitely think they're going to put Jade over the top.
Yeah, I think Jade gets the pinfall here. Not only that, Damage Control won a 6-woman tag on Raw this week. So again, kind of playing into that. You win on the go-home show. It doesn't always go well for you at the pay-per-view. And I definitely think the babyfaces go over here pretty. It'll be a competitive match, no doubt. They're not going to just bury Damage Control here, I don't think. But I think for sure that it'll end up being the babyfaces getting the win here. The next match on the show is the 6-pack ladder match, tag team championships. So 12 men in a ladder match for the first time ever.
And I'm gonna hate it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna hate it, but I'm still stuck on. I didn't know Ric Flair had a son.
Yeah,
I didn't.
I think I'm gonna love this match because R-Truth is somehow gonna win.
Oh, you're wishing there, buddy. I would love for one more go round between Awesome Truth, but I doubt it.
They're gonna win, and this is why Judgment Day is gonna split.
I mean,
this
it
match
could be the start
right
of
now.
It, for sure.
Is it's going to be because of R-Truth, and I think that's just some poetic justice. So lock it in, place your bets. R-Truth is
Wait,
coming away with the belt.
Here's my thing. I love all the teams in here. Butch and Trent, or not Trent.
Tyler Bate.
Tyler Bate, love them too. I loved them when it was Tyler Bate.
And get Butch's name right. It's Pete Dunne now.
It's Pete Dunne. Yeah, back to
Thank
Pete
God.
Dunne. I love Pete Dunne. You know me. I've always loved Pete Dunne.
Yeah.
Even when they were Mustache Mountain with Trent Seven, not Trent Seven. Yeah, it was Trent Seven in NXT when they were Mustache Mountain. Loved him. Waller has grown on me. I'm still iffy on Austin Theory, but he has his moments. I've always been a huge fan of Finn Balor's, also Damian Priest. The New Day speaks for itself there. I love Truth. Miz is, he's an Ohio guy, so I guess I'll give him that. But Johnny Gargano, though, and Ciampa, DIY,
Sorry,
two of
it's
my
DX.
favorites.
Yeah. According to Truth, it's DX.
Yeah,
It's not
Here's
DIY.
Shawn Michaels and Hunter.
Yeah, Shawn Michaels. Yeah. And I thought it was funny when I love how R-Truth put out a video where he went and talked to Shawn Michaels, but he called him Johnny Gargano.
Yeah.
That was outstanding. And Shawn
gonna
just kind of
call-
looked
gonna
at him
call
with the
Ciampa.
one cross eye and just started to walk away. Couldn't believe what was being said right there. But yeah, absolutely hilarious.
I would love for it to be DIY because
I think that's what it's going to be.
Their NXT run was phenomenal as a tag team. Loved every bit of it. But I could also see the poetic justice of Truth, getting those titles and the New Day imploding around that. Or if he causes it to happen, they lose the titles because
or at least causes them to lose it.
Yeah.
Whether that be for R-Truth and the Miz to win the titles or not, I could definitely see the storyline with the R-Truth being in Judgment Day kind of culminating at least with costing Judgment Day the titles for sure. But yeah, you want to explain to everybody, Miranda, why you don't like ladder matches?
Yeah.
Because they're the common sense, okay? It doesn't take you 14 minutes to climb up a damn ladder.
She's right.
You don't wait while your opponent's laying there while he's trying to get up and then start climbing the ladder.
There's going to be some nasty bumps.
Not to mention, you don't fall on the damn things.
Yeah.
Oh,
you don't try to go through them.
Or her favorite is when they get to the top and they fumble around with the belt.
Oh, yeah. They forget how to use their thumbs.
Waiting for a guy to punch you in the ass. Oh, my. Oh. Yeah. It is ridiculous.
Or they go halfway up and try to reach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, I can't reach it, but I clearly could if I extended my arm all the way.
But with R-Truth, it made sense because he said he was scared of heights. So he would climb halfway up and he was trying to reach because he didn't want to go any higher. So with him, it's different because there's the comedic element involved. But regardless of all that, there's going to be some disgusting bumps in this match.
Oh,
from
absolutely.
The New Day.
Yeah, I'll be in the kitchen when this match is on.
From the New Day to DIY, to Finn Balor.
Yeah.
Oof.
Bait and done.
Honestly, I don't like watching ladder matches live.
No,
so I'm afraid somebody's gonna fucking get hurt.
Yeah, and I mean it has happened many times.
But what do you think, babe? Who do you think's gonna win this one?
Flip a coin. 6-sided die. We'll get a little D&D action here. Get a little D6 going action. Yeah, let's assign a number. We'll go that way. Yeah, I think DIY.
It'll probably be Truth because of the whole. He's never going to climb the ladder, and it's really going to make me mad.
I'm guessing he's going to get halfway up the ladder. He's going to be reaching. Miz is then going to be upset, and it's going to be Miz who actually goes up and grabs him, and then hands it back to R-Truth, so that R-Truth doesn't have to climb the ladder.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be upset if either team won, but I'm personally pulling for DIY in this one, even though, like I said, I'm a huge fan of Tyler and Pete Dunne. But I'm a fan of all of these groups. So, but I'm pulling for DIY, but I wouldn't be upset if Judgment Day retained.
I think R-Truth gets it, and then they immediately lose it. Monday.
Yeah.
I think Monday, then they lose it.
Yeah, they'll probably split the titles back up. You know what I mean? Because they have both. So I just wish
they consolidated into one.
Each team grabs one belt and then they just split it that way.
You could. I mean,
yeah,
I've heard worse ideas. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to do it that way, I just kind of wish they'd consolidate into one belt like they did Roman's title. Eventually, that's what I hope they do. But then they made their own belt with world heavyweight title anyway, so very well could
Yeah.
happen. Yeah, so I don't know, going to be crazy for sure. Next up, we have the brother versus brother, Jay versus Jimmy. Yeah, yeet. Yeah, this match obviously brings back memories of Bret Hart versus Owen Hart at WrestleMania 10, I believe. And then 15 years later, Jeff Hardy versus Matt Hardy, and now 15 years after that, we've got these two brothers here. So
this is
Are they
a
wrestling
dream.
both days?
Huh?
Well,
Are they in both days?
depends on
No,
the
this is day one.
tag
I'm
team
sure-
match later on for whether or not they appear.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I forgot about that. But this is a dream for both of them. In one of their interviews I seen a while back, they talked about how they would like if they were in their careers, how they wanted to be. They've been a team since birth, and they've always wanted to main event or wrestle at WrestleMania against each other. And this is it. And I think, as much as I love Jimmy, and I do love Jimmy. Last night he was cracking me up in the ring. Just his facials, his motions, like all this shit he's doing in the background. He's always been funny. They both are. Even when they were trying to be serious, there's always that element of humor in them. But like Jay has grown over me through this whole bloodline story from the time it started with just him and Roman. When Jimmy was hurt and out, and Roman was trying to beat Jay into submission. From that starting point to where it ended up, I've been behind Jay, and I've told you when we've talked about this before early on in the bloodline story. I said it only made sense for Jay to be the one to start the implosion, and he did just that. So like him and his brother going at it at WrestleMania, it's going to be a crazy match. We know what they can do together, so then we know what they can do against each other. So like
that's why I was wondering if they were going to wrestle on Sunday too, because they're going to be hurting.
Now I do think they're going to be a part of the Roman Reigns Cody match to fill in that storyline with the bloodline. That they'll still make appearances, I'm sure, on Sunday as well. But the thing with this is I cannot tell you for the life of me who's going to win.
No,
Jay.
I think it's going to be Jay.
It's got to be Jay. The bloodline
Yep.
has been just getting too many W's going
Yeah.
into this that it.
And he needs to do this for him.
Yeah.
Where they're going to lose outright is going to be this match. Jay is going to outright beat Jimmy.
Yeah.
I can see that.
And that'll get in Roman's head, and
because Jimmy let him down, and Jimmy will be the one to catch the backlash for it. And yeah.
Well, two questions with this match too. Where does Solo Sikoa fit into all this?
I think Solo will play a part, but it won't be a winning part.
he better talk.
I don't think
He needs to find his
take
voice.
part in this match. I think
This
this
match?
match is going to be left alone.
You might be
They're
right.
they're going to let Jay and they're going to let Jimmy have their moment.
And then the other question I have is what is the over under of Rikishi, their father, showing up for this?
Oh, that's happening.
You think so?
Yeah. Whether it's the end of the match where he makes them hug it out because they're brothers and they're bigger than this, or he comes out with one of them and then comes out with the other. Either way, he'll be there. He'll be involved some fucking out.
I could see him being at ringside, maybe like in the front row.
I think
like that.
I think you'll get their whole family out there just so you have that visual of how this is bigger than wrestling. You know what I mean?
Do you think he punishes the winner? He just lays the
ground
in
winner
the
out?
face, right in the corner.
Or what are the chances we see somebody like Zilla and Jacob, the Samoan werewolf? Jacob and Zilla fought too?
I can't remember. Are they under WWE contracts at this point? I can't remember.
They're under Reality of Wrestling, which is Booker T's T's promotion.
I'm sure they could get them on loan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, never say never. The thing that really strikes me about this year's WrestleMania, I know we've made a few predictions already, but moving forward, it's going to be very difficult to determine who the winner is going to be. I think WWE's done the best job that they've done in a lot of years, just with the unpredictability factor of these matches. A lot of times you can go into WrestleMania or a lot of pay-per-views and be like, all right, I guarantee you I know who's going to win this match. You can just kind of see it coming. There's a couple on this WrestleMania card that I feel that way about, but for the most part, there's a lot. It's like, you know what, could go either way, and I love that.
Yeah, so, this could go either way, but I fully believe Jay gets the W in this one.
I'm starting to.
And if not, I'm gonna be mad.
I mean, I'd be fine if Jimmy wins. I got nothing against Jimmy.
If Jay loses, Jackson's handing out super kicks. I promise you.
Nice. All right, next match up we have Gunther versus Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental Championship.
This one I think is the easiest one for who's going to win.
Hear me
Sami is
out.
going to win this so that Gunther can go and face McIntyre because McIntyre is going to win. And he's going to
I believe everything you're saying.
And they're setting up Gunther versus McIntyre.
I hear everything you're saying.
I'd be down for that.
I honestly think that Chad Gable is going to turn heel. And if Sami wins this, which would be huge, because that's supposed to be that should be Gable, and Gable didn't get it done, but he's been coaching Sami this whole time,
or at least last week for sure.
Yeah, when he comes out, he celebrates with Sami after Sami wins, and
knocks him out.
Absolutely,
and goes out of nowhere.
100%. But I think Gunther can't do any more with this.
No, not with this title.
There's nothing else to do with him. So I can only see him losing. I don't know who else he would lose to.
He's already got Honky Tonks record, right?
For the Intercontinental title, yes.
That's it. It's a wrap.
I don't think I can't see it going on any longer for him to lose to somebody else. So I think this one's easy. Sami's gonna win, and Gunther's gonna go on to face McIntyre.
Well, not only that, Sami Zayn last year, everybody wanted Sami Zayn to win the world title from Roman Reigns before WrestleMania. It did not happen in his. I think it was his home
Montreal.
Yep. Yeah, their home country for sure. So it didn't happen there. But then now everybody wanted Chad Gable, so they got all upset at Sami Zayn. But now it feels like WWE's finally going to give it to Sami Zayn, and the crowd didn't like it. Just going to show you.
And Gable's going to be happy, but at the same time, it's one of those "it should have been me" moments. And
not only that, Chad Gable is underutilized. I think if you do it rightly and you turn him heel like we're talking about here, they could easily make him the next Kurt Angle.
That's what I'm saying. Like a heel Angle with him, dude. Yeah. You remember when Angle was just being a dick and challenging people to like wrestling matches and just destroying them?
Yeah,
that is Chad Gable.
That's what they need to do with him. I fully agree with you.
And
no, because I'm not ancient, but I got.
It was only like, well, I guess it was about 20 years at this point. But
you trash for that.
To me, 20 years ago don't seem too far away. But but that's kind of what they did with Kurt Angle. And they had the sort of same gimmick with the the tights, the American theme and the same wrestling style as well. So I think it would work perfectly.
I'm still convinced that Kurt Angle's his son or father.
Right.
I still think that was a better angle than Jordan.
Yeah, Jason Jordan, that was a terrible idea. I don't know who did that one. I think it was with Vince. But when it comes to Gunther, though, I would not be surprised if Gunther does retain the title here, and they do what they do with Samoa Joe in AEW, where he lays the title down, says, I can't do any more with this. Now I want the world title, and kind of vacates it without ever losing to kind of continue to build the mystique of Gunther.
That's anticlimactic.
I know but then like if you beat him, it kind of takes away from his dominance. So I can see it going either way. I have no problem if Gunther does lose.
But he's not losing to some, even if it was Chad Gable, Gunther's not losing to some nobody. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I wouldn't call Sami a nobody for sure.
That's what I'm meaning. Like he's not losing to nobody. If Sami gets destroyed 90% of this match, right? But Sami's the underdog. Just makes this comeback, and then this is the third or fourth haluva kick, third Blue Thunder bomb. He's throwing everything but the kitchen sink at this man, and finally he just pulls the kitchen sink out and nails him with one more big haluva kick, and then finally gets the pin on Gunther.
At least would go crazy. Absolutely. Not only that, you have that on night one, and then you have a potential for another big crazy, hey, he finally did it on night two. You could have one on each night if you wanted to do that. So I see your point. I could just see a scenario where they still want to be, with Gunther. I can see it, but like I said, it's unpredictable to me, and I love it. So
I only have one concern, and I'll get to it when we get to the main event for night one.
Okay. All right. Next up, we're moving right along here. The Women's World Heavyweight Championship match: Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch. I just want to say up front, I think the match is going to be great. Both these ladies are absolutely talented. It's going to be possibly a show stealer, especially in the women's side. However, I'll say this: I think the booking of the feud going into this main event is not been really good. It's been centered around one line, and that's where Rhea told Becky that she wants Becky's daughter to call her mommy after this match is over, and Becky took that personally. But other than that, Becky's been kind of off doing her own thing. Rhea's just kind of been watching, not really doing anything with each other, and now they're trying to make it out to be this personal blood feud. And to me, it's kind of been thrown together last minute.
Well, a lot of it is taking place online and through social media.
That's true too.
Feud. So like
they're doing more there.
It got personal. It went from just a throwaway line to being taken personal on the internet. A lot of wrestling companies starting to do this whole thing where social media plays a big part in their marketing and advertising. So they go back and forth on X or in interviews and shit, and then that beef or that heat transfers over to the show. And I get what you're saying about Rhea doesn't see Becky as an issue. She said it herself. She doesn't see her as a threat.
I believe she called her a joke on one of the Ariel Wani.
So so now she's not gonna, she's not gonna interfere in anything Becky does because she doesn't fear Becky, and that also infuriates Becky because it's like one of the situations. I was at the top of the mountain. I was the mountain for a long time. Yeah. Even when you were doing your thing, I was still the mountain. And so now for now to be so personal with bringing in Beck's kids and shit, so it's like okay, all right. I'm with you though, regardless of the build.
Becky wins.
coming into this, I thought Becky wins 100%. Now thinking about it, story wise, I do think it is probably the weakest on the card, and because of that, I think they're trying to set it up to be Rhea and Liv, and so I think Rhea is going to win this and is going to lose to Liv.
Ooh, I would love for Liv to get her time.
I just don't know if they're ready to put Liv back into that title picture or not, because I've not even seen her on either show lately. Not saying they won't, but but yeah, I mean, I don't know. And not only that, I have a hard time. This is another one. It's like, well, both these ladies have been there, won the world title or women's championship. Again, it's just a coin flip, and I love that. Like I said, that's great. It's just but to Brandon's credit, I do sometimes tend to forget because I usually watch Raw and I watch SmackDown, but I don't always follow all the social media stuff that goes on. And I mean, I try to, but it's a lot to keep up with two companies as well. So in that regard, it probably is being built better in that regard. But especially like me and Ty were talking a little bit before we recorded this actually about how both companies have lost like 600,000 viewers since October of 2019, around about when it comes to ratings. But the problem with that is ratings don't really matter like they used to anymore. Most people watch these shows, AEW and WWE, on YouTube, on social media. That doesn't take into account the ratings. So in that regard, it's probably smart for these companies to start doing it on social media because not everybody watches the shows for 3 hours every week.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I get that. So I don't know.
Some people are just streaming straight to X.
Yeah. Exactly.
So
shoot, AEW does like backstage interviews with guys and gals after their matches on Dynamite, and then they show those interviews exclusively on X. You don't see them on the wrestling shows. So
YouTube is where WWE does theirs. They do their hour pre-show is on YouTube, and then their media scrum afterwards. I don't know if it's still on Facebook, but it used to be on Facebook, but I know it's on YouTube.
I know AEW and WWE, I think, do their scrums afterwards on YouTube. So, yeah, that's always a great thing, too, because it kind of gives it that real-world vibe when it's like you're interviewing like a UFC or a boxer after a big fight. So, I kind of like that element for sure. But if I had to choose a winner, I'm going to take Rhea Ripley. I just think that they're high.
I think I'm going to side with Miranda on this one and go Becky.
Becky.
But either way,
split.
I'm not going to be disappointed.
No, I think either one's going to be just fine. Again, it kind of depends on what the Judgment Day thing is, too. But we'll get a little bit. I mean, I'm not going to.
I guess I could see it being Becky, and then Becky and Nia Jax having their feud, and that's who Nia finally beats. Unfortunately,
again though, that's my only thing with that is we just kind of finished it.
Yeah. I mean, who else is going to beat Rhea though? Who's going to take the title?
Other than Liv Morgan,
Becky or Liv? Who? I mean, I don't see anyone else.
Good point. I can't really think of anybody on the main roster who would beat her on Raw right now. They got Jade Cargill over there on SmackDown. So
yeah, she's on SmackDown. That's a different.
Unless they bring in someone, but I don't know who it would be off the top of my head. So yeah, you might be right about that. Maybe this would be the one and only person who could dethrone Rhea. So you might be right. All right, I think we're to the main event on night one here, and that is of course the highly publicized, highly anticipated tag team match between Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins versus the Bloodline, Roman Reigns, and the final boss, The Rock.
All right, hold on. Before you launch out, I gotta say this. I watched this part, the opening spot on Raw, and to see when The Rock comes out, his music, it's like, oh, okay, cool, it's The Rock. And then you look at the screen and it says, and it goes with the music, the final boss.
Oh yeah,
And
it
the way the
changes.
music changes, I was like, all right, I'm here
Dope.
for it.
And the
I was
lightning
like, I'm here
hits.
for
It made me feel like I was watching the Undertaker come out.
Yeah,
Well,
I was like, I'm here for it.
Well, not only that,
Lit-
I know Ty may not be aware of this, but when the music changes and it's got that, what it is the old Hollywood rock theme song from like
Yes.
2004,
Yeah.
2005. So
Yeah, I
they
didn't
mixed
know
it
that.
with his normal theme song. So
But they slowed it like they
Yeah.
do the Bloodline music.
Okay.
And so it's just this real heavy guitar bass mix, and it's fucking awesome.
and
But
it
when
suits
you
his
see
heel
when
gimmick.
he comes out and the lightning's flashing, the spotlight is flashing, and each time he moves, and then when he stops and it hits him and it comes up on the final, I
Not only
lost
that,
it.
when it's flashing, you can see his silhouette
Yeah, it
standing
was
there on the ramp, which is great.
And I said it does. It feels like, you've played games, right? You've played RPGs. So when you walk into that boss room, the boss always has this crazy elaborate entrance. And that's what this was. And it was like, yeah, it felt like, okay, all right. This is like heel Hollywood rock, but with this real deep, dark side to it. You know what I mean? Real physical, real brutal. The way he has beat, and Cody's good at this. Cody's good at taking a beating. That sounds fucked up, but it's true.
He's shown that the last couple weeks.
I'm saying the sympathy for it, because it's like look, there's a difference to getting beat and beat up. This man got his ass whooped. You know what I mean?
The Rock made little girls cry.
Yeah.
On the internet.
Yeah, those were great, by the way. Great pull by WWE to air that.
Oh
Yeah.
my God!
It reminded me of the Miz girl when Miz won the world
Yeah.
title. She was angry in the crowd. That little girl who thought Rock killed Cody.
Oh,
great. I mean, good on WWE to be aware enough to
Oh.
pull that footage and use it in the Rock's promo for sure.
He is good at the whole. Listen, she said she's never watching Moana again. She said, I'm not doing it.
I hadn't seen that one for Raw. That was outstanding.
That little girl was like, I'm never watching it again.
Yeah,
She was upset.
Damn Maui.
Yeah. But he's good at that. He's so good at taking your emotions. He got under people's skin with a fucking video he put on X.
Yep.
Like, we're upset, mad, because it's not the Rock that you remember. Yeah, okay, heel Rock. He comes out with the guitar, sings a couple songs, talk shit about your city. We move forward. This one is so personal because it's family versus family. This is outside the business. Yeah. Eat your heart out.
Yeah, eat your heart out, Vin Diesel.
And then you got Roman, who's just in the back, like, you heard what he said. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Well, not only that, I feel like The Rock is kind of channeling a little bit of his Hobbs character from the Fast and Furious a little bit, calling people boy, and
dude, when he called Seth boy last night, I sat there and I'm like, all right, first of all, that's a grown man. You can't talk to him like that. Like, I was getting mad for Seth. Like, quit letting him call you boy, son. Like,
yeah. What do you think about this, Ty?
Seth was awesome in that whole segment too, though.
Oh yeah.
I'm really torn because I can't decide if I think that the guests of Stone Cold and Cena, if they're going to come out during this match or night 2. Because I think if no one, I am about 90% positive Cody and Seth lose.
Yes, I am too.
So that tomorrow it's more dramatic when guests show up to make sure that The Rock doesn't interfere, thus making it to where Roman can blame his loss on The Rock so that those two can have their feud while Cody goes into the sunset. And I'm assuming that him and Seth are going to have beef again. Because I think Seth is losing his title. And so afterwards, I don't know what you do with Seth except for have him go after Cody.
Okay, so about the title loss, what do you do with Priest?
Yeah, I was going to bring that up too.
He goes after Sami Zayn.
Why? The goal is always the heavyweight title.
Because I don't think he could hold one of the.
I don't know. I think somebody cashed in the Money in the Bank on a lesser title recently. I can't remember what it was.
I think he either cashes in for the Intercontinental one or he gets the United States.
I remember what it was.
Randy Orton or someone.
Austin Theory, I believe, cashed it in because he claimed that if he went after Roman Reigns, he was going to lose. So I'll cash it in.
Do you think Priest could hold either one of those main belts?
Not right now. No,
I don't.
Oh.
So
he's only got till July.
I don't know what he's going to do. He's not going to use it on one of those two belts.
The World Heavyweight title, maybe, but not Roman and Cody's.
Yeah, but then you don't want him to be a transition champion to where he just gets destroyed by Gunther and Gunther takes it off of him.
I don't think Priest and Gunther are going to come in that right now anyway. We'll get to that when we get to the Seth Drew match. But yeah, but in this case here though, they did not do Bloodline rules as the main event of Monday Night Raw this week with Solo and Seth to not have Bloodline rules at WrestleMania.
Yes.
So I think in that case, because obviously if Rock and Roman win, it will be Bloodline rules.
I think Bloodline rules. Seth isn't going to be there because of his match with McIntyre, which is why it opens up the door for guests to come back. Stone Cold has to come back. Something happens. Stone Cold comes through. His music hits. He doesn't even have to do anything. It just makes The Rock turn and look, and then Cody gets the win. And Roman can now blame The Rock because he didn't stop him.
Nope, I think The Rock just turns on him. Rock bottom.
That's
very
true.
Possible. I'll get a little bit more into that when we get to the actual main event, but because I got my own theories as well, but we'll save that toward the end of the
Someone else is showing up for.
Do me a favor. Put me down for a second. Okay. I gotta help Anaya real quick.
Okay. Oh, it'd be dope. It'd be dope. And no, it's not gonna happen. Dustin.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people have been speculating that. But that would be a night 2 thing, in my opinion, if they were to do it. But my thing with Dustin Rhodes showing up would be, there's been many times, and I know people are probably not going to like me saying this, but there's been many times where AEW has offered to send Jericho on the Stone Cold podcast or whatever it might be. So if they were to send Dustin Rhodes over to WWE, the thing is WWE has not been very reciprocal when it comes to that, giving like footage for Sting or Jericho or things like that. So if AEW were to send Dustin over there, if WWE is not going to give something back to AEW, what business sense does that make for Tony Khan and AEW?
I don't see it happening, but
I don't either, actually.
I don't either.
For this match to set up night 2, Cody has to lose this. So
it's going to set up a against all odds scenario where Cody has to overcome every obstacle in his path to finish his story. That's what I'm at least hoping they do. I mean, they could do it the other way and be just fine, but I just don't think that you would do the Bloodline rules thing on Raw and not pay it off moving forward.
Yeah, I don't know who's going to show up as a surprise, but night 2, there's going to be at least one. I'm thinking 2 people show up for Cody.
Yeah, I think it could be even
because
more.
I think Seth definitely isn't going to be there, and maybe Jay won't even be there.
That's very possible.
Because in the match with Jay and Jimmy, then I don't know, they've overcome their differences, and so Jay stays out of the Bloodline.
Well, not only that, about a week or so ago, there was a moment where on Raw where Seth Rollins was kind of hyping Jay up before his match, and Seth Rollins kind of was like, "Yeah, man, you go get him. All right, go get him." And then as soon as Jay walked through the gorilla position curtains there, Seth just kind of turned around and gave this serious look. And it was almost like this tease potentially that he might even turn on Jey Uso at some point, because Roman Reigns flat out told Cody, Seth Rollins will turn on you like he turned on me when we were with the Shield. Could Seth Rollins turn on Cody in this match?
I think it's possible to even set it up more to be like, look, Cody's by himself. He's on his own.
You might be right. You might be very well right about that, which would then get the crowd on Drew McIntyre's side moving forward for the world title match. But we'll see.
But do you turn Drew face? Because I think in the grand scheme, we'll talk about that when we get to.
Yeah, we'll talk about that for sure. All right, well, that concludes night 1. We'll get into night 2 here. And speaking of matches that I'm surprised had better builds than Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley, I mean, the LWO, Legado del Fantasma, and now apparently Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits are being referred to as the Pride. That is their faction name now. They're going up against the Final Testament, which consists of Karrion Kross and the Authors of Pain. So this could be. I mean, obviously, it's a culmination of their feud that they've had going on the mid card on SmackDown for the last month or so. Kind of glad to see this come to a head and be over with, but I think it's just a filler to kind of get the show started again, like you mentioned on the first night.
Here's the thing: I like 4 out of the 6 people in this match. The authors are paying for me. I liked them with Ellering in the beginning when they're in NXT because they were just so dominant. Like they destroyed everybody. Karrion Kross, I love Karrion Kross. I want to see more of him. Him and Lashley work great together. And I have been a huge fan of the Street Profits for a long time, especially Montez Ford. But this feud has been kind of trash.
Yeah, I mean, the best thing that came out of it was during the tag team title tournament or whatever they got going on to get into the ladder match at WrestleMania. The Final Testament cost the Street Profits their opportunity at those titles. So at least that has an element of, all right, well, we got to get our revenge on these guys.
Yeah.
I have to make an admission here that as someone who's recently gotten back into wrestling, anytime the Street Profits are on my screen, I skip it.
Really?
I hate their promos. I can't. Everything they do to me is just boring. I fall asleep. So I hope they get whooped.
I will give you that to an extent with Lashley because they're trying to take a more serious approach as to what they were originally. If you could go back and watch the Street Profits in NXT in their early times in SmackDown and Raw, they were great.
Okay.
They were huge. They were over. They were huge.
Yeah. For this is a match that. This is when I'm getting food. Like I do not care about this match.
I get it. It's one of those matches where it's just like there's no real stakes in it. There's no,
The only thing I just hope the Final Testament? That's the guys on the right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hope they win just because I watched Dark Side of the Ring and saw the bald dude that's their manager with the Road Warriors.
Paul Ellering.
Yeah, with the Legion of Doom, the Road Warriors.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, and to be honest, if one team needs the win more, it's definitely the Final Testament, in my opinion. I definitely think that they could use it more. But yeah, Brandon's right. The Street Profits back when they were, more of the partiers, I think they were definitely more over. They were trying something different with them. I just don't know if it's working personally.
It's not.
They're trying to reenact the Hurt Business, and
it doesn't work because the Hurt Business worked because of the people that were involved with it, and Lashley was the almighty. He was the Roman Reigns essentially of that group, and you had MVP there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, MVP was a big part.
He was that mouthpiece for them, and and nothing against Bobby. Bobby is still great at what he does. It's just I don't know. This one is one of those groups that I don't know why it is.
I feel very conflicted on what I'm about to say, so you may have to edit this out.
Go ahead.
It looks like they had a bunch of color left and they had to throw it together.
In today's world, I wouldn't be shocked.
They're all it does not look like a good match to me.
The smallest person in that whole ring, though, is Montez Ford.
Yeah,
they're all huge. What are they gonna do? Body slam each other? I mean, it's gonna probably be a good match. But
I think this could break down to street fight type rules type stuff.
Here's
the thing for me.
That's what it is, isn't it? The street
big man supplement.
I don't know if they've named a stip. Well, yeah, you're right.
They named it last night.
No, I'm sorry, you're right. This is from Triple H's Twitter. He says, Philadelphia street fight. So yeah, you're right. So there you go.
If it was just Karrion Kross and Bobby Lashley,
it even looks more like a race war.
Well, the other two, the other two are what are they? They're not. They're from another country, and I forget where.
But,
I can't remember.
They're all brown, Brandon. We are white.
Karrion Kross is not brown. Karrion Kross is not brown, Miranda.
Huh?
Karrion Kross isn't brown. He just has a good tan.
What is he then? He's tan. Well, he fits in. My kids are tan too. They're white and then they're tan.
We'll call up our wrestling trivia guru, Mike, and we'll see what he thinks about.
Oh no, we'll get all kind of fun.
He probably knows.
He's got some color deep in his bloodline.
At the end of the day, I don't care who wins this.
I don't care.
AJ Styles versus LA Knight.
Yeah,
this is kind of becoming a bit of a blood feud. Kind of all started when LA Knight beat AJ Styles to get into the Elimination Chamber. Then AJ Styles flew all the way halfway across the world to cost LA Knight his opportunity in the Elimination Chamber. And then AJ Styles kind of went hiding. And then LA Knight's kind of been doing the Stone Cold Steve Austin gimmick a little bit. I mean, his promos are similar to him and The Rock. We've also got him doing similar finishers to like the Stone Cold, and now he's like attacking AJ Styles at his home on his front lawn, dressing up as security guards to jump AJ Styles from behind. So it feels very Stone Cold-esque in my opinion.
Are we gonna get like 90s wrestling back? Or
Hey,
well,
It's starting to feel like it.
I'm here for it.
I'm
to
down
me,
for that.
this is just, it feels rushed.
No,
Too much
no,
for me.
because it all kind of stems from the whole bloodline thing. I mean, I'm being real honest here.
A little bit, yeah.
AJ's animosity towards LA Knight stems from that whole thing where AJ got hurt courtesy of the bloodline, but LA's the one who kind of stepped in that place that little hole that AJ left. So when AJ comes back, he's like, who the fuck is this guy? You know what I mean? Like, you're in my spot. So AJ wants that back, and LA's like, no, I earned this. So I can see the conflict there, but it's LA Knight and AJ Styles. I'm here for it.
See, the first time that I quit watching wrestling, AJ Styles had just joined the WWE for like, I don't know, he'd been there 2 or 3 months or something.
Mm-hmm.
And so all I saw was him getting his ass whooped. And so for me, AJ Styles, I do not care about AJ Styles. Yeah, I'm not impressed with him, and I'm like, LA Knight's just gonna roll him. Like, I've never seen AJ Styles and been impressed. So
you've missed a lot with AJ then, if that's the case.
TNA AJ was the best AJ.
I mean, he came out with the cool gloves that said AJ.
Well,
that was cool, and that was about it. That was so.
I just feel like WWE. I mean, don't get me wrong. Vince put him over. He won the world heavyweight title, I think, for a while there, WWE too. But there's been a lot of times too where AJ's just kind of been the guy there. He's kind of the workhorse a little bit.
That's
what
I'm trying to get at. Yeah, but without the right words, is that like to me, he just is just a guy on the roster. Like, I don't see him as being something special. So,
well,
for me, this is kind of like a weird stepping stone for LA Knight, because I feel like
you call it a stepping stone, but at the same time, AJ is one of these guys, like Nakamura, a lot of your older guys who've been in the business. Hell, even Randy Orton. I'll throw Randy Orton in there. He's not a stepping stone. He is literally one of these guys that you can depend on to put in the ring, to put over somebody like LA Knight, to make LA Knight look better. And I'm not saying LA Knight doesn't have the capability of doing so, but putting him in a match against somebody like AJ Styles, who can raise the level of a match at any point in time, only helps LA Knight out. Yeah. Even if LA loses, the fact that he made AJ kick into another gear or turn it up even higher to beat him still elevates LA Knight even in a loss. You get what I'm saying? So I get what you mean by like, oh, he doesn't see. It's more than just who the fuck is AJ or what has he done. AJ is still, no matter what, a wrestler who's been from one promotion where he was at the top, and then you just watch the downfall happen. Yeah. He leaves that company, goes to another country, and is at the top there because of what he can do, then leaves, comes to a rival company in the States, and you can see in the quality of his work and his matches what AJ can do. So putting him against somebody, a young and upcomer like LA Knight, which I say young, but I believe
he's
like
41.
Yeah, like
yeah. And AJ's 46, so he's only 5 years older.
Yeah, as a younger wrestling fan coming back into wrestling.
Yeah, I see what he's saying.
The promos.
We're saying how young you are.
I know, mean a lot to me. And to me, AJ Styles is boring. There's not a single thing that's happened where if LA Knight hasn't been, especially recent memory, that if LA Knight hasn't been involved, I'm skipping it. I don't care. I don't care what AJ has to say until LA Knight's there to feed off one another. So, yeah.
No, I fully understand what you're saying. Like, I get it.
And I feel like I would have cared more about AJ Styles if this had been going on a little bit longer. Like, I understand why, Elimination Chamber and things like that, that was the best part to really start getting it to go. But, like, if we had 2 months, maybe even 3 months more of this back and forth, hiding, ambushing, craziness, I think it would have really made
more than
me
just
care
you
more about
cost
this.
me a
brand.
title match and you cost me a
Yeah,
title match.
yeah.
I see
It's
what
a
he's
tit
saying.
for tat situation. Hey, I'll give you another example of something, AJ. You remember when everybody got stuck over in not Dubai, over in
Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia,
Right.
and AJ was the only one who was there to do anything in the States, and he had to wrestle Brock Lesnar in a match that everybody was like, "This is gonna be shit." AJ went and lit this fucking match up. He made Brock look like a goddamn superstar in that match.
And that's exactly what I want to see happen here.
Yeah.
To me, this match is about I hope about AJ Styles putting over LA Knight, or elevating his stardom.
Yep.
Putting him over. I don't think LA Knight's just going to run right through AJ. It's going to be a cakewalk. This will be a competitive match.
I think it'll be a great match, but
yeah,
AJ
will make him look like $1 million.
Oh yeah, LA Knight wins this for sure.
Just because
I hope so.
Yeah, I don't see AJ Styles being
at
that
the
guy
time,
anymore.
Though, AJ Styles, has got this new attitude about him since he came back from injury, due to the fact that he got beat down by the bloodline and all this stuff all these years. So I do like that element of it. It's intriguing to see where they're going to take him storyline wise. But yeah, I think LA Knight wins this. I hope
if
so.
we get a heel AJ, like a real heel AJ, I want it to be Bullet Club AJ.
You might
just
get
like
it.
when we got the heel version of Finn, you got when he was Prince Devitt, you got Bullet Club Finn, which was amazing.
I know he's kind of been giving Gallows and Anderson a bit of the cold shoulder as of late, but that's mainly because they kept losing and stuff like that too. And AJ's just like, I'm done with the losing.
Do you think
I'm not doing it.
AJ loses here, he then becomes that heel you're talking about?
Because
the bloodline splits at WrestleMania, he then goes after Seth because Seth is a part of what took away his possible revenge at the bloodline?
Maybe.
I mean, there's a lot of things you could do with AJ after this.
AJ and Orton, you could do.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because they're on SmackDown. So Seth is on Raw.
It's gonna be Orton and KO.
Orton and KO.
We'll get to that one, but yeah.
Of course, there's probably a draft coming up not too long after WrestleMania too, so you never know where these guys are going to end up for sure. But speaking of Orton and KO and Logan Paul, considering this is Miranda's background, I imagine this is her most anticipated.
I don't think I was aware that Logan Paul was making an appearance in this.
Well, to be fair, KO and Randy Orton have both joined forces against Logan Paul here. Now, this is a triple threat match, though, so at some point, KO and Orton are probably going to go nose to nose here, and the alliance is not going to be, long lasting.
Who's in the pin?
Orton.
What? Orton's going to win this, and then KO is going to go after Orton. So I'm guessing what's going to happen is Kevin and Randy are going to beat the crap out of Logan. Logan's Goon Squad is going to try and do something. KO's going to take it to him. And while that's happening, Randy's going to take advantage of KO being distracted by the Goon Squad and is going to pin Logan. Then KO is going to be pissed at Randy, and they're going to set those two up. And I think
I can see it. I can see it going either way.
I think Logan's going to go away for a little bit after this. I think he's.
I can see
going to have a break.
Owens doing the same thing you just said Orton does.
Yeah, I see. Either way, Logan is not winning this match. I cannot see him winning this.
If you're going to give Sami Zayn the Intercontinental title, it only makes sense to give KO the U.S. title.
Yes, but at the same time, I'm playing devil's advocate here. Yeah. To watch Logan weasel his way out of another loss into a victory. Not only that, but over Randy Orton. Look, no matter how I feel about Logan Paul as a person, as a wrestler, hell of a hand.
Yeah.
It's a craft he picked up very easily.
Pretty quickly, too.
And got very good at it.
Made a lot of guys look bad in the process.
My only thing is if Logan weasels out of it and he wins, then the tag team of Orton KO, who's going to be Logan's partner? Because it's going to have to start devolving into a tag team.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I get what you're saying. And I would love for it to be either KO or Orton. But what's the point of Orton still feuding with KO if he wins that title? Why wouldn't Orton just go after the heavyweight title after that?
No, that's why I'm saying Orton wins to set up the feud because KO wants that title. So KO goes after Orton.
Okay.
Because you're right. There's no reason for Randy to go after that title after if KO wins it. It'd just be congratulations, bud. You know.
You also got to understand WWE loves the fact that Logan Paul is holding that title because he could take that on his podcasts and every other thing he does that gets him notoriety outside of WWE. That's the biggest reason they put the belt on him to begin with. So I wouldn't be surprised if Logan even retains here. But I don't know. What are your thoughts, Miranda? Clearly, you love Randy.
Look, you know who she wants to win, apparently.
Yeah, it's gonna be Randy.
Yeah.
And has Logan done any interviews like
other than his own podcast? No. I mean, he's interviewed. Now, I will say this: he has interviewed a lot of wrestlers, and real personal, real. He's a great interviewer. He's a great interviewer. Now, especially when he asks a lot of questions about the business. He wants to know the ins and outs of the business. He talks about the lessons he's learned with some of the people he's talked to in the backstage and
even I need to learn that or watch that because as a person, I don't like him right now.
I know. I don't either. Yeah. But again, he's also one of those when he's very respectful to these guys. When he talks to him on his show.
Well, I mean, just like with CM Punk, I will never like CM Punk, but I can't watch his interviews because I'll like CM Punk.
Not me.
I will never like CM Punk.
I don't.
But well, no, he's still a human.
Yes, don't get me wrong,
but for this, human. Right? If Logan weasels his way out of this, what the hell was the point?
Yeah,
you're gonna keep it going with Kevin and Randy going after him? Like,
no, I think Logan would move on to something else.
That's how you end it, though. Is he sneaks his way out of it somehow?
I mean, Logan, like you said, could still go away for a while, but with the title, and the title just isn't on the show for a little while. I mean, they've done that many times before.
Yeah, but I think it's
I honestly think it's KO's time. I really do.
Yeah, there's going to be a conclusion.
It makes the most logical sense, I think, to do KO.
Somehow, Randy and Kevin are going to get into a feud, and the only way I can see it making sense is if Randy wins.
Or,
Kevin Owens.
Hear me out. You said there's a draft. Kevin goes back to Raw. Supposed to be happy for Sammy. You know, they are the best of friends.
They made a vid in one night at WrestleMania last year.
He goes back to Raw, sees Sammy with the Intercontinental title. Sammy's super proud. He's supposed to be pumped, but it's like, I left, went to SmackDown. I accomplished. I went after the U.S. title, didn't get it. But you have all this success and you won the U.S. or the Intercontinental title. We know the smallest thing between the two of them could start a fucking fight. It's happened plenty of times before.
A lot.
So Logan wins. KO gets drafted back to Raw or gets traded back to Raw. Him and Sammy feud.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could do it, but they've already done that, right? So
yeah.
Well, yeah, but it's
like
kind of
you said earlier, having Gables go after him or something.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
But if you do KO and Sammy, it's kind of like the Batman Joker situation where we're destined to do this forever.
Yeah,
Kevin and Sammy, it's always
and they are incredible. They are
best of friends, but bitterest of enemies as well.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't want to see Logan win this one.
I'm sure a lot of people don't.
And I think you're right. I think Orton gets the win, pushes the feud further between Kevin Owens and Randy, which I'd love to see a long feud between those two for that title. I think it'd be amazing. And to reward Randy. Randy's been a very faithful hand for a long time. Randy's helped a lot of guys in that ring. Hell, the interview with Matt Riddle, the way he talks about Randy, and I didn't know this, Randy, his back was screwed.
Yeah, he came back from a very bad injury.
So Riddle, in a lot of those tag matches, why you see Riddle in the ring so much is because Riddle said he would take the punishment for Randy.
Yeah, he had to.
And he did the whole time. And even when Randy didn't want him to, Riddle was like, no. I got it. Don't worry about it.
Pretty certain doctors told Randy to retire.
Yeah.
Now, they've told that to a lot of wrestlers over the years, and they've been able to come back, like Bryan Danielson or whatever.
And Edge being a major one.
Saraya, Paige.
Yeah.
A lot of them. But hopefully, I mean, and then it could be partially why this is a triple threat, too, to kind of, again, protect Randy. So Randy doesn't have to do nearly as much, but he can do what he needs to do. And he's been doing all right. So I think he'll be fine in this spot. But yeah, could be a good match for sure. We'll see where it goes. We got 3 matches left here. Bayley versus Io Sky for the WWE Women's Championship, culminating the big feud that's been going on. In my opinion, the best women's feud in WWE over the last few months here, with Bayley being too smart to not fall for the fact that Damage Control was going to turn on her, but then she was dumb enough to fall for the fact that Dakota Kai betrayed her. But I mean, that notwithstanding, I still think it's the best feud that they've built in the women's division over on SmackDown. So yeah, this has been a long time coming ever since Damage Control got together. So yeah, again, another two ladies who I think will have an outstanding match, and the feud has been suiting it as well. So I think Bayley wins the title here, though, personally.
I think Bayley wins, and like you said, draft's coming up. Rhea goes over and then beats Bayley.
But is that Bayley?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
She grew up.
Oh yeah, I know.
I remember.
Yeah,
You're right. She has.
She's thicker than a Snickers, boy.
Yeah. And not only that, she's not full blown babyface yet, but she's kind of been. Well, I mean, she is pretty well babyface, but she's not got to that like I'm back 100% babyface. Part of me thinks, what are the odds of her coming out at WrestleMania to the old theme song, the hugger gimmick, to kind of cement
the side ponytail,
baby? I'm not sure. But that's just part of me.
No, I think you're gonna get grown woman Bayley.
Yeah,
you know, not the hugger.
I don't think she really wants to go back to that.
No, I think you'll get elements of it, but I don't think you'll get that old school baby face Bayley.
I definitely think Bayley wins this, and I think there's a swap in the women's division of the former champions swapping.
Gives them new feuds. Yeah, I can see that.
Ty's all about shaking things up, getting some new stuff here. I got him.
But what do you do with Io Sky?
She goes and beats Becky or Liv eventually.
Yeah, if you switch it, I guess you could do that. Sure.
Yeah.
Damage
I want to
Control.
know if Asuka did all their hair.
Because I think it would be the funniest thing in the world to see Io Sky versus Nia Jax, and somehow Io Sky wins.
Oh no! Don't.
Hey,
God,
I mean, I can believe it.
You
Io Sky
have
is
the
legit.
Damage Control. The Japanese come out there. It's Godzilla hitting Tokyo, and they're just all three of them are going at it, just trying to take her down.
Yo, that's out of line.
It would be the funniest thing in the world. Just one time you do it, and
I wish they would get Nia Jax in shape.
She's actually lost
He
quite
is
a
a
bit of
shape.
weight. Yeah.
Oh,
well,
she is fear.
Broken
does not like
Biscuit
her outfit.
Man isn't a shape.
She does not like her outfit at all.
I think that would be
She
funny,
could wear
but-
something looser. It looks so much
Well,
better.
and I'm not gonna lie, some of the ring attire they've got her wearing is not always
Doesn't
the
help
flattering
her.
thing. But I mean,
yeah, I definitely
know,
think that Bayley wins, and
I mean, who am I to talk? I'm not in the best of shape either. So
You're not going on national TV looking like
especially
you're
wearing
gonna
that.
bust out of it.
Yeah. But no. But no, I like I said, yeah, this will be a lot of fun though. This is what I feel like a real blood feud is. Not Rhea and Becky. This feud has been all about, it's been personal.
But this one has been a long time coming.
Right. They got the proper build.
Once Io Shirai showed up, or not Io Shirai, Jesus Christ, that's her name.
Yep.
Once
or was her name. Yeah. Dakota Kai.
Kairi Sane. No,
yeah.
Once Kairi Sane showed up, it was a wrap.
Yeah.
I knew it was once Kairi Sane made her debut and joined, because her and Asuka were the Kabuki Warriors. That was their tag team. Once she showed up, I knew it was over for Bayley. And like I said, it's been a long time coming. You can see it start to happen before the Rumble. And it's just, all right, here we are now. So she beats, Bayley wins, but I could also see it, Bayley losing.
Yeah, I mean,
being drafted to Raw, you know what I mean?
I mean, I'd be perfectly fine with Io Sky retaining too. Again, I know I keep preaching it, but the unpredictability of it could go either way here, and who knows? Maybe Damage Control is something that doesn't last much longer.
Whoever's the losers in the first night and the second night, they'll flip. They'll switch them. One goes to SmackDown, the other goes to Raw.
Yeah,
and then they become the winner at that. With that side,
I can see that. Yeah, looking forward to this as well. Well, we'll get to the two big main events here for the men's world titles. The World Heavyweight Championship, Seth freaking Rollins against Drew McIntyre. who I believe Drew McIntyre has been doing his absolute best work as of late, especially on the microphone. He's been hanging with the likes of CM Punk and Rollins and Cody and all these guys. And he's definitely been keeping that feud alive with CM Punk, who will be on commentary during this match. The thing I love about this feud is Drew McIntyre has been going on and on and on to Seth Rollins about, yo, you're so concerned about this tag match with Cody Rhodes and the Bloodline that you're not paying attention to me. But the wrinkle they've thrown in here with CM Punk being on commentary, Drew McIntyre has been so focused on CM Punk a lot as of late since he put him out at the Royal Rumble. Now, the irony is, what if Drew McIntyre loses this match because he's not focused on Seth Rollins?
And that's been the story
for
Drew, that he just, there's always something at the end that deviates him from winning, but he always blames it on everybody else. He has not taken into account it's his fault that he's lost. It's his fault. Now, granted, him winning that title in an empty fucking arena sucked.
Yeah. That's terrible.
Yeah, that's why
I
think
do believe he gets his moment here.
He's going to win this, and I unfortunately believe that then they're going to have CM Punk come back, and CM Punk's going to take it from him.
Yeah, that's what I think is going to happen.
Because there's no way that CM Punk is not going to have a belt as soon as he's healthy.
Yeah, I don't know if
I don't think CM
ready
Punk
to
has
say
the ego to not have a belt. And so
that could very well
and
be.
it's more. That's the thing, though. But that's more of a slap in the face of Drew if you're just a transitional champion.
I agree with that.
Well, I think he loses it to CM Punk, and then Drew takes it back from CM Punk later on. I don't know. I want Drew to have it for a while. Don't get me wrong, but I don't.
He's earned that much.
I don't think CM Punk has the ego to not have a belt. So whose belt is he taking?
Well, this would be it.
Because they set it up with Drew, so CM Punk's going after Drew. He's not gonna. It's not like Gunther's gonna win, and then CM Punk's gonna go pick on a German. Like,
well, and going back to the whole draft thing, let's say Cody Rhodes does win the title, and one of these two guys obviously is going to win. You can't have the world title on the same show. So one guy's going to have to go over to SmackDown. So again, with the draft coming up, that's going to fix that problem. But I definitely see either one of these two guys are probably going to face CM Punk when he comes back because they both have bad blood with him. Drew McIntyre is the one who's had the most bad blood with him on camera. So I think that could very well be the case. And as Brandon pointed out, he will get his big moment here that he did not get during the pandemic at WrestleMania. So I hope Drew wins here. Like you said, he's been putting in the work. And not only that, Drew McIntyre has a contract coming up with WWE, I believe, this summer. If WWE wants to entice him to stay, it would make the most sense to reward him for his good work by giving him the world title here. And Seth doesn't necessarily need it for sure.
Seth is going to take some time off.
And not only that, The Rock has promised in his promos he will cost Seth Rollins his title because of his involvement with Cody Rhodes. So does The Rock get involved here? Like Ty said, maybe Seth doesn't even show up for the Cody Rhodes match.
I don't think it's Rock that gets involved. Maybe Solo.
I can see that too. Either way, under Rock's direction. Either way, yeah.
But Seth's taking time off. Seth is legit. His back is legit screwed,
and his knee is just. I think he'll get through this for sure.
So I think this is his. We're not going to see Seth for a while on TV.
I can see that. Yeah. Any other thoughts on it? Or ready to move on past this one?
I just want to shout out Forsaken because last night I thought he was on TV, but it was Drew McIntyre.
Oh. Nobody knows who the hell that is, but me and you.
I know.
But yeah. So there was a shot of Drew that looks like a very close friend of ours. Forsaken, a guy I used to wrestle with back in the day, aka Matt is his real name, but he did. And she goes for half a second. What? She goes for half a second. I thought that was him.
By the way,
hairy chest and all.
Oh yeah. By the way, Drew McIntyre cut an excellent eulogy on CM Punk and Seth Rollins last night as well, which was funny too because later on Drew McIntyre was sitting in the back on like a crate and Seth Rollins walked by before the main event and he looked at Drew and said, "I ain't dead yet." And then as he walked off, Drew goes, "Yet." So very well, they've been doing a great job with this, especially when CM Punk was said he couldn't be an unbiased referee for this match because a lot of the fans of Chicago wanted to be, and Punk said he's like, let's be fair, I couldn't be unbiased to these two to these douchebags or bitches or whatever he called them. And then Drew McIntyre was sitting at ringside and he goes, "PG, brother." You can't say that. So I love Drew McIntyre.
I know a lot of it is show, but there's a lot of real animosity between a lot of these guys and CM Punk.
Yeah.
I
I feel like
honestly
you can just
believe.
feel that as soon as
I
he
honestly
walked.
believe that's a huge reason why KO isn't on Raw.
It might be. I mean, I've heard that Seth and Punk is kind of, it's gotten better since he came back, and I've heard maybe Punk has made some amends. I don't know. But if nothing else, Seth Rollins is at least smart enough to realize there is business to be made here. So
I
he's
don't
going
think
to do
Seth
business.
will do anything to contradict business. Personal relationship, I don't think it's going to happen. But business is business. But I think there are some relationships, despite that, KO may look past it, say whatever, business is business. But the shit that transpired between those guys in the locker room and ROH is crazy.
Yeah, all I've got to say is I wish CM Punk never came back.
Up close enough to where it's just walk by, see each other, acknowledge the fact, hey, good day, whatever, we move forward. Goes no further. But
go ahead, Ty, finish your
I don't know who wanted CM Punk, because I certainly didn't. And
WWE is a general.
Yeah.
I don't think he has a spot in WWE anymore.
Well, as Drew's been pointing out, his body's been failing him for the last 2 years, even in AEW. I mean, he's been hurt 3 times in a span of like a year and a half. It's like, at some point, maybe he just doesn't have it anymore.
You got to know when to hold him and know when to fold him.
But they're going to try. I mean, and I don't blame them for trying, because there is money to be made there with the fan base. But as you mentioned, some of his antics, even before AEW in the WWE the first time, and some of his, in Ring of Honor, some of his other things, Punk has a long history of kind of sabotaging himself. It just kind of makes you wonder how long it'll be before it happens again here in his next.
He's living up to his name. He's a little punk.
A little punk. And of course, there's a lot of controversy right now with his Ariel Helwani interview, which we won't really get into a whole lot here. But
oh my goodness,
it's definitely a firestorm right now.
With you thinking that Seth's going to take time off, do you think that actually means he's going to win this match and then Punk is going to beat Seth?
No,
I don't think Punk's going to be ready relatively soon. It's going to be a minute, because last time it was like a 9-month injury and he hurt it in January, so it may be a while. Or at least it was previously. He might be able to come back a few months.
I don't know. I'm just paranoid that he's getting a belt when he comes back. I know.
Well, and if Drew were to win it and hold it for the next 6 months, at least Drew would have a good run if he lost it to Punk. But I understand what you're saying.
It makes no fucking sense.
Yeah, I
don't like it.
Ty, let's start emailing Triple H.
You're gonna reward a guy who busted his ass through the pandemic. Has been doing some of his best work lately with this whole story of him losing that title, or winning that title to an empty crowd, to where like he went from the highest to highest to the lowest of lows, and now your reward to him is you get a 6-month title reign.
Yeah,
just to lose.
Well, that's why it's just, I don't think about the future. As soon as CM Punk comes back, the story is going to be him and Drew. So with that in mind, do you give Drew the title, knowing that it's going to be a feud between CM Punk and Drew? Do you want a title up for grabs in that? Or do you wait and you make Drew lose this? Then he has to go through CM Punk and loses CM Punk, I don't know, and eventually beats him to then have another shot.
Well, and to your point, that these two guys may not be holding the title by the end of this night. What if Damian Priest catches in? Or if you go a little further, one of these two guys wins and then Gunther takes it from him, and Drew and Punk or Seth and Punk don't even have the title involved. I mean, that's a potential. I mean, that's a very possibility. I don't know if Drew or Damian Priest will cash in here, but Seth Rollins did that once. It'd be interesting if Damian Priest cashed in on Seth. Kind of sucked for Drew in that case if that were to happen, but I mean, never say never. All right, well, let's get into the.
I think that's a good point. Now that you said that, I think Drew beats the crap out of Seth, but Seth comes out on top. Damian cashes in. Drew then has a feud with Damian because I did all the work and you stole the belt from me.
I mean, that
worked.
They did have a thing with the Bloodline and Drew for a little bit.
You're
not Bloodline. I'm sorry.
The Judgment Day.
Judgment Day and Drew for a while.
Yeah, I can see that. I don't know who'd be the babyface there, unless you turn one of them. I don't know if you turn Drew yet. I mean, you can maybe turn Damian Priest, get him away from the Bloodline. Or Judgment Day. I did it too. But
it's all the
Bloodline. It's Bloodline heavy, bro.
It's all connected, just like the comic universe out there. Yeah. Speaking of all connected, I'm going to go ahead and tell you my theory on the main event here. Then Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. I think obviously will be Bloodline rules. This is going to be WWE's Avengers Endgame moment. This is going to be all the baby faces who were ever screwed by the Bloodline against the entire Bloodline including Jimmy, Solo, Rock, Roman. You'll probably get maybe, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, Jey Uso, CM Punk can get involved. I don't know. There's going to be also Austin, Cena, as Ty pointed out. You can have all sorts of names come together here. And it's going to be, in my opinion, should be absolute chaos to end the supposed biggest WrestleMania of all time. And just in the flurry of all the stuff going on, somehow Cody Rhodes will get the pinfall and win the WWE Universal Undisputed Championship.
But you have to have Cody deal the finishing blow to Roman. It can't be somebody else, and Cody uses that. It has to be Cody who's the one who hits the finishing blow on Roman.
Yep. Yeah. I hope it is absolutely everything you described, Eric, except for the ending is clearly Cody doing it by himself. Yep. Otherwise, the story will never end because it will just be Cody couldn't do it by himself.
Yep.
Now,
Cody has to win this by himself.
To that point, there's two places I think this does eventually go. Obviously, if they're smart and Rock is game, you've got to do Cody Rock one-on-one. SummerSlam. Yes. That and Cody holds the belt, and you can even do Rock for the title then, whatever. And I don't know if you have Rock and Roman turn on each other here or later to build to next year's WrestleMania where it's Roman Rock one-on-one. No title involved. You don't need that. But bloodline feud.
Oh my goodness.
It's got to happen.
If you have The Rock challenge Cody for that title, for the sake of bringing it back to the bloodline to where he's the new head of the, to where you see Roman like, bitch, you trying to take my spot?
Roman takes time off after this, comes back, and is sick of The Rock taking his chief.
My God.
That is the only way this goes, in my opinion. It has to.
So this is your way you can then turn Roman back to being a face at the same time.
You could, or I don't know if you turn Roman.
Yeah, I like face Roman.
You're right.
I don't like this egotistical asshole Roman.
And you can still do babyface Roman with like a bloodline gimmick, like the tribal chief. You can still do that. It just depends on how much longer Roman wants to do it, and whether or not Rock is game to continue to do more. He is part owner now with TKO. He's on the board of directors. So
that would be nuts, dude.
But if you don't do Rock Cody now, after everything that's been going on over the last few weeks, that's the main event I wish this was kind of. Because that's kind of what it feels like it's been building to more than Rock or Roman and Cody. So that's, to me, that's got to be SummerSlam. I don't know how else it can't be. And then if you want to do Roman Rock, that'd be great.
Roman, you could just see the anger on Roman's face because Rock is just sliding into the head of the table spot.
The jealousy.
Yeah, I can see that. Roman leaves, takes some time off after losing. And the Rockets, he ran away after losing, and I stepped in. I'm the real chief.
Yeah. Well, and I can see Cody going on some title feuds over the summer, and then July, August, back comes the Rock. I want you crybaby bitch.
Roman cost the Rock that title. Out of just sheer jealousy.
Oh yeah, I mean, and it could happen here. I just feel like you could get a little bit more out of
it if you do
bloodline sticking together for a few more months.
Yeah.
Now they don't have to be on television, but when they come back, they're together or whatever, and then maybe the turn happens at SummerSlam, setting up next year.
Yep. So, but Cody definitely wins this. He has to.
I would think so. However,
it has to be Cody dealing the finishing blow.
However, there is a potential.
No.
The Roman Reigns is this close to beating Hulk Hogan's record. Now he's never going to catch Bruno Sammartino. That's going to be way out there.
They said night 2 will be him beating Hulk Hogan's record. They said that last.
I thought it was like closer to SummerSlam this year, though.
No,
they said last night. That
I'll have to look into that.
Day 2, it will be him breaking Hogan's record.
They didn't say that it was like straight that. They added a stipulation. There was like a little side piece they added that they're like, he's beating Hogan at is main events at WrestleMania.
It was WrestleMania main event. Which again, they tried to say he's going to main event his 8th and 9th WrestleMania both this year, which is not true in my opinion. Night 1 and night 2 does not count as 2 main events. It's one show. They've split into 2.
Yeah, they started it with Roman will beat Hogan's record
and main eventing WrestleManias. That's
with his 9th main event.
Yeah, to defeat his championship reign record, I think it's closer to SummerSlam.
But why? Why do they need to do that?
They just love to do it. They don't need to do it, but
I think that was a Vince thing anyway.
And so that may not happen because of that. I still think Vince
Listen,
maybe should.
no matter what, at the end of the day, his title reign is going to be something nobody else is going to accomplish again.
Yeah. Especially in this era.
I think if Vince was still in control and they would have done the Roman Rock match, Roman wins to beat Hogan's record. But now that he's not involved and it's Cody and Roman, I think they give it to Cody.
Cody finishes the story at WrestleMania.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's the most logical place to go. I wanted Cody to finish the story last year, and I was like, but it ended up working out okay.
That's what I'm saying. If he would have, you wouldn't have got everything that you got now.
I agree.
If Cody would have won, the whole implosion of the bloodline wouldn't have took place the way it did. No. It made more sense for Cody to lose because, like I said, you want Roman to start to lose everything around him, and Jay being that cornerstone that Roman needed in the beginning for him.
And that
to
part
leave,
happened, I guess, afterwards, but everything else kind of stayed the same.
Not really. Roman's been unstable since. He doesn't.
Yeah.
He already has trust issues because of the.
Yeah,
he already has trust issues because of the Shield thing. So to have another thing happen where he loses a family member in this aspect, but then they bring in The Rock, who I don't give a shit what anybody says. You can tell from the body language of those two that they don't fully trust each other.
And I think that's intentional, clearly.
Yes.
We'll see what they do with it.
Because Pat McAfee even said something about that. Oh, side note, caveat: Pat McAfee crushing it. Okay.
Yeah.
Crushing it.
He's gonna be live from Mania.
Yeah. They're doing a whole
Friday,
thing there. Yeah. They had Roman on the show last week, I think it was, when they were covering the Iowa Hawks game or whatever. And he asked him, he goes, so, I'm not trying to start anything, but you ever notice when you guys hold up the ones, The Rock does this thing here?
The L? Oh, no, he brought that up, huh?
Yeah.
I honestly think it's just Rock not realizing, to close.
No, because he's done it before. He's done it the right way before.
You think
and then there's subtle little instances where it's like, and you can see Roman start to pay attention to certain little shit that he does now, and it's just like, okay. And you just file it under. All right, that was weird, but we move forward. Like,
well, see, that's the thing I always loved about AEW. AEW does that subtlety stuff where if you're watching for it, you can see it coming. WWE for a long time just kind of stopped doing that altogether.
Yep,
it's starting to slowly come back into WWE, and it's making the product better for fans who are not complete nincompoops out there and actually can pick up on subtleties. It's a good thing. So I'm glad that they're doing it, and hopefully it will lead to something, whether it be now or at SummerSlam. But yeah.
But like I said, I remain by the fact that whatever shenanigans, because listen, that main event is going to be overbooked as shit.
Yeah, as it should be, though. I think this is the one time I'll be completely okay with that.
But you have to have Cody has to be the one. Yes, I don't give a shit if it's the 5th or 6th crossroads he fucking nails, the 3rd disaster kick or Cody cutter he hits. But the crossroads has to be that finish move. And he has to hit it on Roman to seal the deal. Like, it has to be his move that puts Roman under.
No excuses. No, I mean, yes, the family and the bloodline, everything will be involved, as they are in every Roman match, but this time it's going to be legal. But it has to be one of those things that, because that's been the reason why Roman's been winning, it has to be the reason why Roman is losing. Like, it has to be... Roman has to lose this one-on-one in the end somehow. Everything else just kind of, fades to the black, fades to the side, and it's
so
Roman
those
Cody.
Spikes Roman on the Rock's orders.
Right? Okay, yeah, I mean, sure. but then that would be like, well, I only got beat because of Samoa Spike. So
no. I'm just saying, at some point, that's gonna happen.
Oh. Well, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I don't see it happening Sunday. I don't.
I
can't, because then you're right.
It take away from everything else. Yeah,
and that does make this a little bit more predictable now. Yeah. But at the same time, predictability is not a bad thing in pro wrestling. When executed properly, it can be the best storytelling you could possibly do. Vince McMahon, for a lot of years, just tried to do things to, subvert expectations, just to shock the crowd. And a lot of times it was the absolute
worst thing. Yeah.
Brock Lesnar beating Undertaker comes to mind. But there's a lot of examples. In this case, you do this, you pull the trigger finally, finish the story. Cody gets the title his dad never got to have, and you have the all-time babyface run with Cody Rhodes over the next 6 months to a year. Simple as that. I mean, it writes itself at that point. Because like we said, Roman and Rock and they don't need the title. for that feud if you're going to do that at all. And I don't know who you set up Cody for next year though. Would it be Punk? What do you think? This is long term now. We're getting deep in it.
No.
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 I don't know. That's a long way off, but
I think
at least
probably it will be Punk. I think
Punk can get there.
probably has that. Drew has the belt, and he beats Punk, and Punk moves on to face Cody.
Think it's champion versus champion type of deal, maybe.
No.
And then Punk loses, right?
Well, Punk loses to Drew, and then that seals. Drew keeps the title long term or longer term, and then Punk and.
Wait,
Well, the good thing is,
Punk just go back to AEW or
Nah, that bridge is
you know
burnt.
I think it is now,
burnt.
Especially after that
interview he did.
burnt.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
bridge
it's
is
definitely
burnt.
burnt now.
Yeah, I know.
But and I'm going to stress this too. I mean, Punk's entitled to his opinion, fine. But just keep in mind when listening to Punk talking on Ariel Helwani, that is Punk's side of the story. There's always another side of the story that AEW has not shared. And actually, I don't even know if Punk was allowed to talk about it with the NDAs and things like that. He might get in some legal trouble with that. I don't know. But I was at least happy to see that Punk said, I regret the way I handled the media scrum after the all-out brawl or whatever it was. So at least he was man enough to say that. So I'll give him that. But yeah, so it's definitely a burnt bridge there, I think. I don't know. But AEW's got enough talent. They don't necessarily need him there either. So both companies are doing well in the talent department.
Yeah.
Great. All right. Any other thoughts on WrestleMania 40 before we get out of here tonight, guys?
It's gonna be a long fucking show. I know
I'm
that.
glad it's 2 nights.
Yeah.
I'm glad it's 2 nights. That
Even
one
with
year
2
was like
nights,
10
though.
hours.
Bro,
I know.
that year was crazy. That was the
was
most
too
I had
much.
you motherfuckers at my house. I was ready for y'all to leave.
You're like, get the hell out.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to bed. I don't blame
Y'all
him.
been hanging out all day. Now y'all gotta go.
Exactly. Well, I want to say thank you to Ty for being on the show. Hopefully, we'll have him more, and maybe we'll get a camera for him here before too long as well. We'll have him on the podcast.
Again,
and stuff
he
maybe
lives
going
2
forward.
minutes away from you. He could have go picked up that camera.
We'll make it work, but I like the John Cena gimmick tonight for sure. But comment down below. Let us know what you guys thought about the prediction show. What are your guys' thoughts on WrestleMania 40? What do you guys think is going to happen? Let us know. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. And until our next video, guys, take care and God bless.
Later.
Good night, guys.